Hi there, Christy here with Practically Perfect Painting Crafts and Events. Today I have another project that is a part of our fall release that we are doing. Let me get you guys squared up a little better here. This is part of our fall/Halloween drop this year, where you can go on our website, purchase the kit, it gets shipped right to your door, and then you can paint along with me at home. So today I just have this super cute sign here. I would think that this would look so cute, like propped up on a little shelf, right? We have our 'Tis the Season, but for the purpose of this video, I actually painted this prior. So now would be the time to go ahead and pause this video, get out some white paint and your square brush that we have here with the kit, and go ahead and paint the background of this sign white. Now, if you've already done that, or maybe you're unpausing your video, we can move right along. We have everything stacked together, how we will glue it together in the end. I have my frame here. So I'm going to go ahead, let's sit all of this to the side so I don't splatter paint on it. I have this frame, and then I have some dark brown paint. I'm going to pick up some dark brown on that square brush, and I'm just going to do this border here. I'm just going to do this one time. I want a little bit of that wood color to show through, so I'm only going to give this piece specifically just one coat of this brown color. So this is that dark brown, and I'm using one of the brushes that come in the kit. It is the square brush. We'll be using the square brush a lot today. This is one of our bigger pieces for the fall release. It fills up my 12-inch boxes pretty well. Super nice little project. Just painting right around those edges with that nice dark brown. Now, if you want, you can totally go back in and do a second coat of brown on your project. But for me, I'm just going to let it at this, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, I'll set this to the side. And then I have my little pieces here. Now, nothing is glued down on my project. Like I said earlier, I just like to start with it all together, how I will be gluing it together. So I can see where all the pieces go. So I have this little Tis. So I'm picking up some black on my square brush. I'm just going to go in and pat that color right onto these words. A lot of times with little thin pieces like this, I like to pat the color on versus brushing it on, so I'm not flicking paint everywhere, I'm not mucking up my edges. Just like that. And we'll go ahead and set that piece to the side. I'm going to pick up V. I think that this is so cute for like a kitchen, or maybe like a living room TV stand. Such a cute little sign. Okay, now I'm going to pick up my last word, season. And I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just blotting on that black with my square brush. Our square brush is the star of the show for a while today, before we switch into the baby brush, which is the second brush that you'll get in your kit. Just like that. Okay, so we have our words covered. I'm going to go ahead and clean that brush out super well. And now the next thing I want to do, I think I'm going to start with my coffee cup and move to the left here. For this coffee cup, I am going to take off my pieces, and I'm going to mix up a little bit of white and a little bit of brown. I want it to be like a lighter brown color for my cup here. I'm just going to come in with some lighter brown. Once again, I just mixed that myself from the white and the brown that we have. And we can sort of ignore this part. We have a little piece that goes right over top. So there we go, coffee cup. We'll plop that to the side. Now go ahead, let's rinse that brush out again. And then I'm going to pick up this band, and I have some dark green. I'm going to put some dark green on here with that square brush. Just like that. Oops, I flipped it over. And then I'm going to take my little pumpkin off, and we have a little coffee sleeve. I'm going to do this dark green as well. Just like that. We'll set it to the side. Now let's clean that brush out again. And we are going to use that brush, or you can switch down to your baby brush, whatever makes you feel better. I have my little pumpkin that goes on the coffee cup. I'm going to paint it orange with that square brush. Just avoiding the little stem. If you get paint on your stem, it's okay. We're going to come back in with the dark brown anyway, so you're fine. Alright, clean that brush out again. Now we have our lovely little maple leaf. I'm going to pick up some of that bright red. So this is that lighter red, that cherry red. And I'm going to cover this maple leaf. Just one coat for now. We'll come back in for a second. Okay, now let's go ahead and plop that to the side. We'll clean our brush out. Now I have my pumpkin. So I'm going to pick up some of that nice pumpkin orange, just avoiding that stem again. I'm going to use that square brush and get a nice even first coat on that pumpkin. If you cover that stem a little bit, it's no big deal. We can come back in and fix it up, okay? Almost everything can be fixed. Just like that. We'll set it to the side. Now I'm going to clean out my brush really well. And I'm going to pick up all these little football pieces that I have on top first. And I'm going to come in with some white paint on that square brush. And I'm just going to tap some white on this football stitching. Okay, just like that. Super simple. Set it to the side. We have the bands on the football. We're going to paint those white as well. Just a nice even coat. We'll come back and give it a second. Okay, there you go. Now would be a really great time to pause the video if you need to get caught up on any of the pieces that we just painted. So my last little piece here, I have a football. So I'm cleaning out my square brush, and I'm going into that brown that we painted the frame. I'm just going to paint a nice even one coat on that football, just going over all those score lines. Those score lines are there just to tell us where we're going to glue our pieces. Just like that. And we'll set it to the side. And now I'm going to clean out that brush again. And we're going to do a little bit of dry brushing because I want to make this back piece look a little rustic. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick up my square brush here, my square brush, and I'm going to put a little bit of black paint on there. Now I'm going to dab that paint off. This is very important. So we picked up black paint on our square brush. We dabbed that paint on our plate. Now we're going to pick up a paper towel, a rag, whatever have you, and I'm going to swish that back and forth to get a majority of the paint off of my brush. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pick up my piece and I'm going to pull in from the edges, okay? So that looks like this. We're pulling in from the edges, and with this one, I want to follow these lines that I have here. So I'm just going to start at one side. I'm going to work my way down, back and forth, nice long brush strokes. I'm going to do the same thing for the second one. Nice long brush strokes right over where that score line is. And I'm going to do the third. Nice long brush strokes right over where that score line is. Following that score line. Back and forth. Just like that. Now I think I'm going to come in again. I'm going to reload my brush. And I'm just going to go around like the outside edges because I want it to have a little more rusticness on my edges here. So I am flicking that paintbrush right over top of that corner. I'm not coming in and painting on the surface of my project. I'm flicking my brush, catching the side of my project. That's what gives me this nice antique-y type vintage feel, okay? So let's go ahead, sit that down, and clean our brushes out and get ready to do the second coat on all of our smaller pieces. Okay, so let's start with our coffee cup again and our square brush. We're loading into that lighter brown that we made. We're just going to go right over top of that coffee cup. We're skipping the band part. We don't need to worry about that. We have those two pieces that'll fit nicely on top, okay? So just like that. Now that I have a second coat and I have that light brown on my brush, I am going to double load my brush, right? Ignore my messy paint plate, okay? She's been through it. We've been painting so many projects with her, okay? Anyway, regardless, I'm going to dip that square brush right into that dark brown that I have that will also be in the kit. And then just on a disposable surface that we don't need to worry about, we're going to move that brush back and forth, okay? So I have that dark brown just on the corner of my brush. I didn't pick up much paint. Now I'm going to plop that dark brown right on the outside, and we are going to shade this cute little coffee cup. Just like this. While that light brown is wet, we're just going to shade that ever so slightly. Right? We have a little line up top here. I'm going to come and follow that line. Dark brown paint on the line. Just around like that. Set that piece to the side and go ahead and clean that brush out. The next pieces I'm going to pick up are the green pieces that we had from earlier here. So these two coffee cup bands, we're just going to put some green on them. Just like a famous coffee company, right? Using that nice dark green color. There we go. I love this green. It's one of my favorites. Now I have my little pumpkin. Let's clean that brush out. And we will paint this little pumpkin. We're going to go in with that pumpkin orange. Such a nice orange. There we go. Now we're going to do a little detailing for our pumpkin. So I'm going to pick up some orange, plop it on my plate in a clean spot. If you have a clean spot, not, you know, mentioning my plate. And then some brown, some dark brown. I'm just going to mix those two together and get an orangey brown. I'm using this little baby brush. Now all I'm going to do, I'm going to come in and I'm just going to trace over those lines, my little score lines on my pumpkin with that orangey brown. Well, that checks out. That makes sense. With our brown, we're going to go over these little score lines here just to give our little pumpkin some depth. Now I'm going to clean my brush out. And I'm going to pick up the dark brown here, and I'm just going to go over my little stem, just like that. And we'll set it to the side. Now go ahead and clean your brush out again. I'm going to go ahead and do my pumpkin, just because I still have some orange on my square brush. So I'm picking up that pumpkin again, and I'm just going to do a second coat on it. Okay, I'm going to throw that brush in the water because I think I'm all done with orange after this. Now, with my baby brush, I'm going to pick up more of that, what did we call it? I forget what I said mistakenly. Our orange brown. And I'm going to, with my baby brush, trace over those little score lines one more time on this big pumpkin. I love painting pumpkins. It's one of my favorite things to paint come fall. So I'm just going to soften these lines a little bit by just going over them again a couple times. If they are too brown, do not panic. You can pick up some orange with this little baby brush and go right over top of that brown, okay? That's what's going to blend those two together. Don't panic. It's something that takes a little bit of time. We have to play around with it a little bit. But I feel like in most cases it's easier for people to do like a little bit of shading via this than what it is for people to do shading like we did on the coffee cup with that double-loaded square brush. So I'm going to clean out that baby brush. I'm going to pick up my pumpkin again here. Pick up some dark brown on my baby brush, and I'm just going to come in and paint that stem. Just like this. Super cute. All right, now let's go ahead and clean that brush out again. And then we want to pick up our leaf. We have that maple leaf. We're going to pick up our maple leaf, and we are going to pick up some more of that bright red paint first. Get a nice second coat of bright red on here. Now, I'm going to pick up some of that dark cherry red. Okay, just a little bit. I did not clean my brush out. I have bright red on it. I'm just picking up some of that dark cherry red, and I'm going to swoop it over my edges, just like we did with our sign, the background of our sign, and that black paint. Except this time I'm not really looking to take the paint off of my brush. I'm just flicking in on all of those edges. Just like that. Maybe soften out these guys down here. Makes our leaf look nice and crispy. Okay, I'm going to clean my brush out super well because the next pieces I pick up are going to be those football pieces that we have, and they are white. So make sure we clean that brush out super well. We're just going to go right over top of those white bands for our football, and then the white stitching for our football. We're going to give all those little white pieces on the football a second coat, and I'm using my square brush for that. Patting on the color when it comes to that stitching so I don't mess up all my edges on that piece. Go ahead and clean that brush out. Now I'm going to pick up my football. I'm going to go in with my dark brown, and I'm going to do a second coat of dark brown on my football. Such a nice brown. It's one of the better full coverage browns that I've used. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to double load this square brush one more time. I'm dipping into the black this time. Okay, just the slightest little bit. I'm not sure if you can see that well. Just the corner of my brush. And I'm going to work that around my football, putting the black on the outer edges of that football. Putting my brush down, letting the brush do the work for you. Go over it a couple times to get that nice softened out shadow around there. And go ahead and clean your brush out. Now, I believe that we have all of the pieces painted how I wanted to paint them. I am going to take a few minutes off camera to sort of get these pieces to dry a little faster, and then I will come back and show you how I glue everything together. Okay, so I am back, and I have my corded glue gun here and some extra glue sticks. This is the only thing that you do not receive in your DIY paint kit. You will get the wooden project, the brushes that I used today, as well as any paint that I used today in little paint pods. So let's go ahead and glue together. I have my background piece, and as you can see, we have little spaces that mark out nicely where things need to go. I'm going to grab my frame that we painted. I'm just going to glue on the back of here as quick as I can, because I know this sets really quick. I feel like it's already setting. And we can push this down. We're going to use our fingers and the edges of our piece to get this to line up well. Okay. Perfect. Push that sucker down on there. Need another glue stick here. Okay, now let's do our words first, because I feel like these are going to be the trickiest part of gluing because they're so thin. So I'm just going to come on the back and put a little bit, not too much, of hot glue on the back of those words. We can clean up our little glue strings when we're done here. Now I have the in my hand. Just going to put some glue right on the back of it. And we'll push it down. Just like that. Now I have season. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back here. Just like that. Super cute. Okay. Now I want to do my coffee cup, so I'm grabbing the big piece that belongs to the coffee cup part. We're going to match it up with those score lines, just like that. Now we'll glue our bands onto our coffee cup. So I just happened to grab the bigger one. Doesn't matter which order you glue in. I'm going to make sure that that's even with my fingers. We want it to match up with that bigger coffee cup piece below it. Now I have my little band piece here. Put glue on the back, and we're going to push it down, doing the same thing, just trying to match up those layers. Now I have my little pumpkin. And my little pumpkin, I'm just going to glue right to that band, the bigger band. Just like that. Now I have my maple leaf. It's going to be my next piece. Putting glue on the back. Lining up with those score lines. Now something else I want to mention here, I did not paint inside of my leaf, like the little veins of my leaf. I'm just going to let mine, but I think it would be really cool to use some like black cherry that we had, that super dark red, and paint over those veins for the leaf, but I'm just letting mine the way they are. I think that they're good enough that way. Now I have my pumpkin. And we will match it up with the score lines on here. Oh, that is so cute. And now I have my football. Glue on the back of it. Matching it where those score lines are. Pushing that down. Now I have like the little bands. I'm just going to glue those on. Whoops, knocked over my glue gun. My second little band. And my stitching. Matching that up with the score lines. Just like that. Super cute, super easy project. I absolutely love this one. I just think that it would look so cute on like a little kitchen shelf. Or if you're like me, you have space above your kitchen cabinets, this would look so cute sitting like up on top of your kitchen cabinet somewhere. I think that that would be so cute with some pumpkins, some fall candles. All right, well, thank you so much for painting with me today. I really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. Just in the description box, you can find the link for that. And also check out our website in the description box below where you can order your own paint kits and paint along with me. As always, thanks for watching. Happy painting. Bye.